So today's episode, Jody won't be doing the intro or closing us out again this week. For one reason, she's still dealing with some pretty raw emotions regarding our nephew, but she also has a huge work project that she's working on, and she just won't be able to do that this week. So it's just going to be me. Um, And before I get started, I want to say, as usual, if you are having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations, to please call 988. Don't suffer in silence. Don't think that there's no hope. Please reach out to someone. These people are trained and they know how to talk to you, they know how to listen, they know how to encourage you, they know how to give you the resources that are available near you so that you can get the help that you need. So please, if you're feeling those thoughts or if you know anyone who's feeling those thoughts or express those thoughts, please call or text 988 and get the help that you need. I don't really have a lot for today's episode, and I do apologize, but with everything going on with Mike and all the doctor's appointments and treatments and everything that he's been going through, we've just been really busy in dealing with all of that. So I just do have a few things to share. One is it's talk about Adam and talk about thoughts and things that remind me of him. It's been over 10 months and still it's amazing at the things that just make you think of him. For example, in my Sunday school class, I teach third through fifth grade, and we're doing what's called the Gospel Project, and it starts at the very beginning of the Bible, all the way in Genesis. And of course, the first, chapter or two is full of talking about Adam. Adam was the first man. Adam named the animals. There's just so many things. So I'm constantly reading Adam's name, and when I'm talking to the kids, saying Adam's name. So um, I think the first lesson we did recently, that's one of the first thoughts that came to my mind was, oh my gosh, here we are again, Adam's name's popping up everywhere. And then secondly, Mike and I go the back roads to his doctor's appointments just because we don't want to get caught in traffic and things like that. And then there's a little tiny park on the way where we go, and it's not a very big park at all. It's kind of a triangle shape almost. And right in the middle, there's this big sign that said Adams Park. So it's like, oh my goodness. And there's a road actually that we cross over that's called Adam's Way or something like that. But anyway, it's got the name Adam in it, so it just seems like there's so much of Adam everywhere, just to make you make think of him, um, all the time, which I do anyway. Of course, not a day goes by that we don't think about him, um, don't mourn him. So I'm not trying to say that's not the case, but it's just that these reminders just pop up. And I think I've mentioned before in one of the podcasts, I think it doesn't matter. It's like almost every day, everywhere we go, somewhere, something reminds us of him or reminds me of him and makes me think about him and the loss of him. Um, Also, kind of just wanted to share that with everything going on with Mike as well, with the cancer and the radiation and the chemo and the treatments and the doctor's appointments and just everything, I feel like my emotions have gotten intertwined from losing Adam and going through this with Mike, and I don't know how to untangle them. Um, it just seems like, a couple weeks ago I talked about how I felt like I didn't want to do this, do this, do that. I didn't want to just do the things I had to do day to day, and I've praised God, I don't think that way anymore. I haven't had that feeling in several weeks, so I'm thankful for that. But it just seems like now the morning is different, and I know time also makes our morning different as well. So I don't know. Again, with everything going on with Mike all at the same time, I don't know how to disengage or separate the emotions to figure out which ones are regarding strictly regarding our mourning of Adam, or which ones are around his cancer and his treatments and everything that goes along with that. So anyway, that's just another thought that I wanted to share. And I also have been feeling the last couple of days, I think, that I'm disengaged from things. I don't know how to put it into words very well. Um I don't know how to explain it. I guess anybody who has been a caregiver um, probably has experienced this. And again, I know these podcasts are supposed to be about losing Adam to suicide and trying to help others. But again, because everything is so intertwined, it's almost like I can't separate them. And it seems like the episodes right now are gonna kind of be about both situations in my life right at this moment. And then, of course, the loss of my nephew too, just recently. So there's a lot going on that will cause me to have emotions and things that, like I said, I may not be able to explain or even understand or figure out. But I don't know. I think because I am staying home, which didn't go off a lot and do things anyway, but my normal routine is not there, and I think that that makes me feel like I'm disengaged somehow from everything. I don't know how else to say it. Some things are still kind of normal. I'm trying to do certain things still on a normal routine basis that I normally do. But there are other things that I've had to let go or not be able to do because of, being here for Mike. And, um, and again, I think part of it also is because of Adam's suicide. Unless you've been through it, you've been through losing a child anyway, no matter what the situation is. The suicide, I feel like, just adds an extra layer to it. And I am not trying to dismiss or play down anybody's emotions that have gone through losing a child, because I know it's the hardest thing that we've ever been through. And I know, because we know that's not the normal way of life. Normally the parents go, first, and when this happens, it's just totally just, it changes your world. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, um but it seems like the suicide, I don't know. I don't know if it's because you're thinking to yourself, they chose to do this. They made this decision to take their lives. Whereas if, you lose a child to a horrible disease or a horrible accident or something like that, it's still horrible and still hard. But they didn't choose that. So if that I hope I'm not offending anybody who has lost a child to say, well, how dare you think that, because losing my child was the hardest thing. And I know that. I know that it's hard for you, no matter what the circumstances were, whatever the reasons were, whatever happened to cause you to lose your child. Because, like I said, we know that that's not the way things are supposed to go. We as parents are supposed to get older, and we're supposed to go, and then our kids are supposed to go on, and and that's not what happened in this case. So, or in the case of losing a child for any reason. So, um, that's really all I have today. I do apologize that I don't have more, but again, this is a lot going on trying to get through the things that are going on with Mike. And even though this is supposed to be about Adam and losing him, I would like to share that Mike finished his last radiation today, and we're so thankful and praising God that he made it through. Without getting sick, without like catching a cold or having bronchitis or the flu or anything like that, which was one of our fears because his immune system is so weak and he's weak and tired, but he made it through. Now he's gonna, things will turn around and he will slowly get better and get over all the side effects of the radiation and everything. And that's what we're we're really looking forward to for him turning things around, or his body turning things around and getting better and getting back to what would be normal for him. And of course, we're giving God all the glory and all the praise for that, um, because he's done so well in certain areas. We know it's because of all the prayer that we've had, all the prayer and support that we've had from everyone, and we cannot tell you how much we appreciate what everyone's done, all the prayers and everything that everyone's had for him and for me, and asking about us and constantly checking on us. So, um, again, that's really pretty much all that I have right now. So again, I want to close out by obviously saying, if you're having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations, do not suffer. Please don't suffer. Please don't stay there. Please get the help that you need. Please call or text 988 and find out what the resources are. Find out what they have to offer. Find out what you can do. Please don't make a permanent solution to this problem that you're going through right now. Um, and again, I know when you're going through it, it probably doesn't seem like a temporary problem, and I'm not trying to downplay what you may be feeling, or you or a loved one or someone you know may be feeling, that to make light of it or in any way. I'm not doing that at all, but um, life changes and we go up and down, and maybe right now you're down, and you think that that's the only option, but I pray that you don't do that and that you call 988 or text 988. um we would love for you to share any comments or questions or feedback that you have for us on, via this podcast. Just give us a comment. Or if you would like to reach out to us by email, we are hindsighthurts@mail.com. If you want to share your story, or you just want to ask for prayer, or, whatever, please send us an email. Again, you can remain anonymous. If you can't remain anonymous because your email comes through, in your email, tell us you don't want your name or whatever, and we will not share it. We will be very careful with that. You also can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify at Hindsight Hurts. Um, and again, I would ask that if you could hit the subscribe and the like button, we would really appreciate it, because um, that helps bring our podcast up in the listings, the more subscribers that we have. And there's no cost. I know people like me, I don't know about you, but people like me that aren't very techy and all that, but you hear the word subscribe and you think, oh, money, it's going to cost me. There's no charge. It's just you are now a subscriber to our podcast. And again, it's just to help move it up in the listing on YouTube. So, if you're would be willing to do that, we would very much appreciate it. And again, our prayer is that this podcast will help someone who may be struggling, may be suffering, maybe a person who's been left behind by someone who has taken their own life. And that's our prayer, and our goal is to try to help someone else. And we just, want to give God all the praise and the glory. And again, we thank you so much for listening.